Blog Talk Radio.
We're going to be joined by Michael Kirkpatrick, who is an investigative journalist, and he'll be coming on. And he's actually been to Uganda and northern Uganda many times. He'll be telling us his story, and has just done some amazing work. And I'm going to let him tell his story. Michael, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here. I'm listening in. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for coming on Your World News and taking time out of your schedule to do so. And first and foremost, thank you for your work that you've done. And I've told our listeners that you're someone who has spent a lot of time in Uganda and has spent time in northern Uganda as well. I just want to start off by asking you the first question. What took you to Uganda in the first place, many years ago? Why Uganda?
That's a great question. Let me give a little introduction first. I use the term independent global citizen kind of as my brand. The message is I have no agenda. I do not work for any charity, church, NGO, business, government. My experiences traveling to Africa are solely personal, and I would categorize them as I go there on vacation. Some people like to go to Disney World. Some people like to go on a cruise. Some people like to go to the beach. I like to go to Africa, and I'm blessed enough to have a wife that feels the same way. So we've been to Africa several times. The first time that we went was in 1998, and that was prompted out of the blue. There's a whole story that goes before that, but you'll have to wait for the book for that to come out. But basically, we were invited by a Ugandan gentleman. He was running a grassroots organization to help orphan children and peasants in rural areas of southern Uganda who were impacted by HIV, by AIDS. He was Ugandan, and he was helping his own community. There was no affiliation with any large institutional type of charity or philanthropic organization. My wife and I took this gentleman up on his offer. We agreed to go, and we made plans. It's the first time I've ever traveled to Africa. So in, I believe it was June of 1998, my wife and I arrived in Uganda. Just like most people who, their first impression of Africa, you're going to have this kind of white savior notion of helping. Now, helping people is not a bad thing. But, it's kind of like, okay, there's a school there, there's kids, there's orphans. We're so blessed, we have so much. We want to be a blessing to others. All the cliches, all the catchphrases, all the, I want to have a heart for Africa. I just want to love on these people. So we kind of went initially with that attitude. It was kind of like, what can we do to help these people less fortunate than